Good morning.
Good morning.
You can do better?
No, it's just, they need to turn it up. Okay, try again.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Grace Greger, a member of the trustees. We're very glad you're with us in person or online here in our magnificent sanctuary that a former interim minister called the grooviest church in Boston. It's about to become groovier in 10 or so minutes. Special welcome to visitors, whether you are joining us for the first time or you're a repeat visitor. We're glad you're with us. To learn more about First Church, please go to firstchurchboston.org, contact Reverend Stephanie, or you can grab me and ask me some questions, or our standing committee chair, Nancy Olson, if you see her. Usually we have a coffee hour right after church. We will have coffee after church today that you can grab, but right after church, and I am segueing into the announcements, we have our annual meeting up in the Hale Chapel, and there will be food up there, a light lunch. So if you grab a cup of coffee, we want to see you up there. The annual meeting is for members. Visitors are welcome, but for any votes, you will just have to sit there. So it's always interesting, it's efficient, but the annual meeting is very important, and it starts as soon as possible after church up in Hale Chapel. The other important announcement for the church is that in 2 weeks, that's June 14th, we'll have our annual picnic. Janine Mudge Mullen and Dave Mullen will be organizing that, doing the superb job they always do, but I understand that we need a few more grill masters, so if people are adept on the grill, you're welcome, and I believe some food is provided, but there's sign-ups to bring additional foods. I'll defer to those in charge in the sign-up list. And I think that's it. There's some additional information in the order of service. Please check it out. And now the service will begin.
Welcome to this joyful, sunny, for now, morning. Welcome to you who are longtime members. Welcome to you who are joining as members today. And welcome to you who are joining at First Church for perhaps the first time today. For this moment of this hour, together we join to write a new page in the nearly 400-year-old story of First Church in Boston. In the entirety of this long story, it has always been and always will be co-authored by each and every one who joins together in the ongoing work of seeking religious community. As the service begins, I'm excited that we are expanding the membership of our community, and I invite those who wish to join as church members to please come forward now and line up in that direction, and as well as Nancy, our standing committee chair. And don't forget your order of service. So Nancy, hit the pulpit, then just. We at First Church Boston welcome you.
You can always tell. We at First Church Boston welcome you as new members of our community this morning. We do not have a creed of beliefs you must affirm, but we ask that you participate in and support the church with sincere intention. We invite you to bring your own stories, gifts, and ideas to share in support of our community.
By signing the membership book today, you participate in a centuries-long tradition dating back to 1630. Your signature affirms your intention to join in the spirit of our historic covenant, to move together in mutual love. If this is your intention, please say, I will. And now all members, we welcome you into the life of this congregation where we affirm love as the spirit of this church and service as its law. May your participation in and support for this community strengthen us as we move together in mutual love.
We look forward to being part of the life of First Church Boston. We promise to participate in and support the life of this congregation with our gifts, ideas, and hopes to the best of our abilities.
Thank you. I now invite the new members to sign the membership book, which Ebony has, as the congregation welcomes you with a hearty round of applause.
And as you sign, if you don't mind quietly saying who you are so everyone knows, just your name.
Mark. He's Mark. We'll go with that. And I'm Chris Collins.
Welcome.
And I am Sylvia Zarco.
Caitlin Ferrarini.
Juan Osorio, and the little one with the red boots is Leonardo Osorio Ferrarini.
And we also have another member who's unable to be here today, and that's Amy Ringer. You may not know Amy, but she is faithfully an online participant, and I'll be bringing the book to her in June for her to sign in person. So thank you, and I think we need another round of applause welcoming our new members. And I like to do that before the chalice lighting and affirmation because I think it feels different when you've now signed the book and you're affirming your connection to this congregation in a new way. So I invite all of us to rise in body or in spirit as I light the chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and invite you to join as you wish in saying our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. I now invite you to take a moment to greet one another and wave at our friends online above the camera, at the camera above the clock. And as we prepare to sing our opening hymn, I was reminded I didn't tell you all about one of the coolest things about First Church Boston becoming a member. All of the shining copper strips in the grooves are the names of members who have joined. At least since I want to say the 90s, 80s, something like that. And so you'll see some new strips on the wall back behind Bob at the piano, and that aren't completely pushed into the wall yet. So I invite those who signed the book this morning to come and finish by putting their names into the wall. And then just to explain, then the copper up here are the ministers. So the day I was installed, that's when my strip went up. So thank you for being here. And let's sing one more step, moving into the future.
Wondering is a central part of what it means to be Unitarian Universalist. At the core of our faith tradition, while I do this, if any small children would like to come forward, or small people at heart would like to come forward and take a seat on some of the cushions so they can better see my very small little box here. Wondering is very important to Unitarian Universalism. At the core of our faith tradition lies our commitment to a free search for truth and meaning through community. We come here to gather together and to search together. Well, today we get to wonder about what's inside my wonder box. Do we have any wonderings? Anywhere in the sanctuary, up front especially, but anywhere in the sanctuary? Any wonderings? What do we think? You think it's what? A marker? Oh, a microphone. Yes, it could be a microphone, a key to the church, I heard. And a what? A banana. Ooh, I like that. A mouse. I like that, yeah. A bug. Clearly my hearing is not great today. A bug. I like that. These are great wonderings. One of the baby ducks. Oh, the lid doesn't quite fully close, so the duck would be okay in there. Any final wonderings? A marker. I like that. All right. Do we have someone who wants to open the wonder box? Saw a hand fly up. Yeah, we can have two. We can have two help. All right. All right. Now, why don't you pick it up? It's a seashell. That's right. That's right. Hold it up so people can see. There we go. Yeah. It's a cool. Thank you so much. This seashell. I love this seashell. All these little ridges on this scallop shell coming together at one point. It's a symbol of like the Camino de Santiago pilgrimage in Spain. That's where I happen to get this one. It's also a common symbol in Unitarian Universalism. Well, I guess not common. I use it as a symbol in Unitarian Universalism to show that the church holds us together. It's one of the important things about Unitarian Universalist churches. Even though we don't all have the same beliefs, we come here together in community where our community can hold our practices, can hold our wonderings, our values, so that we can be together and we can search together. So that's the importance of this seashell. It kind of does look like a crab shell. This one's a scallop shell. Have you ever had scallops? They're really fun to eat. It is. It's a nice little arc. It's a really pretty shell, I think. You can find some on the beaches sometimes. Some glitter would definitely make it better. Glitter makes everything better. A really apt observation right as we enter into June Pride Month. All right. Well, as we sing our children out to their programming, please join. The words are in your orders of service. I think it's still go now in peace. Great. Thank you.
I would like to invite you to engage in a little intentional breath work prior to our spoken portion of the prayer. Excuse me. If you are comfortable, feel free to take your hands one over the other and place them on your stomach. You may close your eyes or set them in a soft gaze. As you inhale, notice the rise of your belly. As you exhale, notice the relaxation of your belly. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Spirit of life, source of all beings, companion, we continue to journey together as a collective of people who care for and love this institution. Guide us as we make choices that are good and sustainable for this faith community. Spirit of hope, may we be open to expecting the unexpected and pay close attention to the messages lingering in the background of these surprises. Universal love, each of us are on our own path in this human experience, but remind us that an ingredient of a life well lived requires love and interconnectedness from one person to the next. As we enter a moment of stillness, may we stay in gratitude for this one precious life.
Giving and receiving are sacred practices. Your presence here on site and online are gifts. Your dedication and work in this community are gifts. Your votes at the annual meeting are gifts. We will now take a moment to collect this morning's offering to support the ongoing programs and life of this church. Please give from the heart, knowing your contributions directly help our community.
Thank you for your gifts. Please be seated.
Good morning. This morning's reading is taken from The Vanishing Church by Ryan Burge. But before the reading, there are two things. First, a note. In research on American religion, Unitarian Universalism generally follows what is known as Protestant mainline churches. For example, Episcopal, United Methodist, and United Church of Christ denominations. We all kind of move in the same direction. Second, a statistic from Ryan's book. In the 35 years between 1987 and 2022, the 7 denominations that compose the vast majority of the mainline churches recorded a 45% decline in membership. Not a good trend. Now the reading. The mainline used to be the loudest and most influential voice in American Protestant Christianity. Now, that voice has largely been silenced. Striving for a tradition that welcomes all viewpoints and political proclivities may represent a deeply held conviction for many proud members of the main line, but it's not proven to be a viable pathway for organizational vitality. As the American political landscape has continued to sort into very conservative Republicans and incredibly progressive Democrats. Those who choose to stand between those two extremes are often a very small company. In his poem, The Second Coming, William Butler Yeats writes, quote, "Things fall apart. The center cannot hold," unquote. That's certainly become the case with white American Christianity.
Thanks, Bill. And before I begin, I just want Craig to confirm you have the script. Okay, thank you. Have you ever been enthralled in a story, a movie or a podcast, only to have it suddenly end with some big unresolved question? There's some stunning reveal, but then the credits start to roll. Wait, what? The story ends in a cliffhanger. The story ends with a longing to stay engaged and to find out what happens next. Throughout this church year, we have been exploring the power of story. In the science of storytelling, journalist and author Will Storr suggests that every story you'll ever hear amounts to something changed. Something changes and we want to know what happens now. The tension between what was, what is now happening, and what comes next draws us into stories of all kinds. Love stories, coming-of-age stories, stories of journey and return, and more. Change itself is neutral. A change might be welcome, like when your cancer is beat or your child is born healthy and strong. But sometimes a change arrives unbidden and unwelcome, such as job cuts to your department at work, a fatal diagnosis for a loved one, or a dangerous new war. Change of many kinds simply is part of our stories as living beings who dwell in a complex, interwoven world. On this Sunday, as we welcome 7 new members and gather for our annual meeting, I want us to revisit our story as a congregation, including some of the key changes we have already weathered and some we face today. But rather than recite yet another history of the First Church in Boston, I invite you instead to imagine that you are sitting down for a cup of coffee with a friend to share stories. Stories about where you've been, what's going on with you in this moment, and some of what you hope tomorrow might bring. You might ask,
So, First Church Boston, tell me a bit about yourself. Are you new to the city?
I, as the First Church in Boston, might say, well, actually, I've been around here since the beginning. Well, the beginning of the English city, that is. Before the English arrived, the Massachusetts people and other indigenous folks were already living here. Like us, they are still around today, in fact.
Whoa, you've been here since 1630? Where did you come from? Why did you come here?
We came from England as a pretty large group, hoping to create a new community and a safer place. Now, don't get me wrong, we were loyal to the king, but on the whole, we disagreed with the direction of the Church of England. Some of us were even threatened by the church and state for our religious beliefs and actions. Putting an ocean between us and the bishops seemed like a safer plan. When we arrived here, we set up the church under this big tree, and we signed our names to a covenant, a statement of our hope to unite together in this new place as a group committed to be faithful to God, as well as to mutual love and respect for each other. At least to try to the best of our abilities with some grace from God.
Well, you're still here, so things must have worked out okay over the centuries.
To be honest, trying to live in religious community can be difficult sometimes. And we've not always made good choices. While you might say that our religious ancestors were just trying to do the right thing as they understood it, there were definitely actions we would not condone today. And frankly, that from our current point of view, just seem wrong. For example, one of the early settlers, Anne, was a brilliant thinker who spoke out with her own religious ideas, but both the civil and religious leaders rejected her ideas and her right to speak out as she did. They banned her from living here. And about the same time, we became involved in a brutal war against the Pequot people. And then in the aftermath of this war, we justified enslaving both Pequot and African people, setting up a racialized system of white superiority over other races, a system that still lingers in ongoing racial prejudices as well as inequalities in generational wealth. I feel we have to be honest that our story includes significant harm to others, some of which hurt not only individuals back then, but also set in motion structures of bigoted thinking and unjust actions with ongoing impact today.
Acknowledging the harm you have caused cannot be easy. Why not just leave it in the past? Why not just focus on the good stuff or on the present?
Truthfully, we've often tried. If you read the histories of the church written 50, 100, or 200 years ago, you'll find a largely positive story. And there is much of which we are proud. Those early settlers set up a government that included the voices and votes of more people, well, men, than had been allowed in England. Those systems of town meetings and even annual meetings of the church created habits of having a voice that created a culture that would eventually contribute to the demand for liberty and self-government in the American Revolution. In church life, too, there was a movement towards more liberty of thought, which is to say the church became less puritanical and more liberal. By the early 19th century, we were even starting to identify as liberal Christians, although there was some hesitancy to adopt that Unitarian label when it came out 200 years ago. This liberal Christian identity lingered well into the mid-20th century, even as there was increasing openness to modern scientific thought, humanism, atheism, and world religions. Then when our church burned in 1968, it was a bleak time at first. However, we merged with the second church in Boston and proceeded to rebuild, despite activists demanding we abandon the project and use the funds for low-income housing. And for the rest of the 20th century, we really did fairly well, with good numbers in worship and strong support from a number of folks, not to mention kids, families, and an excellent music program.
That sounds great. But from what I've heard, the more liberal and mainline churches in America have not done so well in the 21st century. Not to mention, wasn't COVID hard on churches? How are you doing now?
It's been tough. While our membership records have not always been the most accurate, it's clear that we are a lot smaller than we used to be. Compared to 2018, we now have about half the members and about half as many people in attendance on Sunday morning. However, the members that remain or who have joined in recent years are generally quite engaged and offer support in so many ways. But with fewer folks, some things are harder, like recruiting enough volunteers to fill out long-standing committees and raising the same amount of money. It's clear that things are not the same as they used to be.
It definitely sounds like things have changed. So, what's next?
What is next? That is our cliffhanger. And as this is not a scripted show, but real life, none of us actually know the answer. What happens next is what we do in response to this moment. My hope is that we will have a healthy, mission-driven congregation. Healthy can mean many things. Healthy can be a vibe you feel when you enter into the building. Are you happy and lighter when you move through the door? Do you feel like there is space for you to be yourself, to tell your story, to ask for help? Healthy can be interpersonal. It can mean building a community culture of caring support that also knows how to manage conflict well. Do you feel like you can disagree and stay in relationship? Do you feel like when you screw up, you can apologize and repair that relationship? Healthy can also mean institutional culture and behaviors, such as clarity and transparency about how things work. Do you know who does what? Who is accountable to whom? And just what the actual resources are that we have available to make things happen? Do people feel like they know what's going on and or trust the people making decisions on behalf of the church? Do folks know to whom to direct their questions? And do they feel as if it's okay to ask if they don't know? You might be shaking your head no to some of those questions, or you might be surprised to learn that the person sitting next to you is quietly shaking their head no. I am so proud of the hard work this church has done these past years to move towards a healthier place of higher trust, more mutual respect, more transparency, and greater joy. We may not yet be where we'd like to be, but I do think we are on our way. As we move towards a healthier congregation, I also hope that we will engage in deeper conversations about our mission. What is our purpose for being, besides simply continuing to be? Our historic 1630 covenant is full of mission language. They knew their purpose was to follow the laws of God and the commands of Christ as laid out in the Bible. But this isn't language that works for us today as a Unitarian Universalist congregation. So what is our language to express our purpose in this moment? In this moment, when we are facing numerous headwinds, including a larger environment of declining church membership. Just this week, social scientist Ryan Burge published a Substack on Unitarian Universalist, which shows a membership drop of about 26% in the last decade. After evaluating various detailed demographics, Burge's summary states, "What do I make of the Unitarians after looking at all this data? As you can probably guess, they give me echoes of the Episcopal Church. They are older, white, well-educated folks who tend to lean toward the left side of the ideological spectrum. Both groups have a nice core of strong givers, and their long-term asset portfolio is incredibly strong. In other words, they are both facing the same problem in 30 years. A bunch of money, but not a bunch of people." Will this be First Church in 30 years? I don't think it has to be. However, to avoid this outcome, we need to attract and retain more people. But who and how? In Burge's book, The Vanishing Church, he writes, quote, "The American political landscape has continued to sort into very conservative Republicans and incredibly progressive Democrats." End quote. This matters for religion, he argues, because studies suggest that political affiliation is now upstream from religious affiliation. In other words, if you are a politically conservative Republican, you will likely look for an evangelical or Catholic church, both of which have moved to the right in recent decades. And if you are an incredibly progressive Democrat, you might join a mainline Protestant church or a UU one, or perhaps more likely, you may just join the rising ranks of those who do not claim any religious affiliation. In The Vanishing Church, Burge is most concerned that we are losing the religious middle. As with politics, religion is polarizing and the center is eroding fast. It is far less likely to find a Republican and a Democrat sharing a pew today than in the 1950s or even in the 1980s. I believe this is also true here at First Church. I know many of you are longtime active supporters of the Democratic Party, and one of our prominent members was the late Elliot Richardson, who infamously walked away from the Nixon administration during the Watergate scandal. And he was not the only Republican in these seats, then or perhaps now. So could our mission today be attempting to hold the center, to be a moderate congregation, or at least a moderate Unitarian Universalist congregation? Burge says that the relationships and social capital built by sharing pews tempers polarization and the dehumanization of the other, thereby helping to strengthen a pluralistic democracy. And yet, even as Burge relays the merits of the moderate church, he also notes how the data shows that the inclination, quote, to welcome all viewpoints and political proclivities has not proven to be a viable pathway for organizational vitality. In other words, churches in the center are rapidly losing members. So where does that leave us? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. But I am sure that any way forward will need a healthy congregation capable of collaboration, conversations, and openness to change. As a nearly 400-year-old church that has moved from Puritans to pluralism, adapting to change is our story. As the religious and political landscape changes from the 1950s, 1980s, or even the decade before COVID, we are again facing a cliffhanger moment of uncertainty about where our story goes now. I invite you to stay engaged and to help us figure out what's next. For your sake, and for the sake of all whose lives might be changed for the better by finding their way here. May it be so. Ashe. Amen. Our closing hymn is This Boat. It's a new hymn. I think it's the third time we sang it this year because I want you all to learn it because I really like it. And I love the boat image for us because of our origin story of coming over on the boats. So please rise in body or in spirit. The lyrics are in your order of service, and The piano and the choral ensemble will help us with the notes. Let us say together, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. So members, please We do have a little bit of time until the annual meeting. We posted 12:30 as the start time for the folks joining online, but we hope that you'll go upstairs to start eating, so we can start right at 12:30. So, but the coffee is down here. Very important note to remember: coffee's down here, food is upstairs in the Hale Chapel, and there, if you're unfamiliar with our building, we do have an elevator to take you to the right to the Hale Chapel. Sustained by our connections to each other and to all that is holy, let us go and be beyond these walls, engaging across difference, loving with abundance, and working together to build a more sustainable, just, and free world for all. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.